Hello, everybody. How you doing? Everybody doing okay? I'm trying to. I'm trying to do okay. I was afraid that I wouldn't get in here, and I've got stuff all over this shirt because I had to go out and water my flowers, and I've got a one of those trees that shed that white stuff. Well, it's not the cottonwood tree; it's the willow tree, and it sheds white, fluffy stuff. Well, I picked up one of the stalks. Y'all seen that little video I did about the doing that when I was a kid. Sherry Long, happy to see you again. It's been a lonely day. Mom's in yonder. So what happened with that willow branch that gets so kind of like fur? Well, it got all over me, and I couldn't get it off. And I thought, I wonder if I come in here looking like a big old Sasquatch or something. Hi, Simply Debbie Sue. Didn't I run into you this morning? Yeah, it's Jerry Long. Hi, Linda Gomez. I'm doing better. I haven't seen you on in a while. You were one of my contestant winners, weren't you, Linda? I remember that. Hi, Teresa. I decided I'd do a live again tonight since I did that. Y'all, that cream squash was so good, and the roast was so good, and it was just good. We had some good stuff from this morning. Um, Mom's in there, Linda. She's watching us. She's directing. Hi, Chris. Hadn't seen you in a while, but I'm glad you stopped in. All of you, do the things, whatever you have to. Thumbs up, share, like. Make sure you you're subscribed. Please do that. I imagine you are, but a lady friend of mine told me, she said, I was subscribed to your channel and now I've been unsubscribed and I didn't do it. I said, okay, she said, let your followers know because sometimes the Facebook is just, the YouTube is Simply Debbie. Uh, yes, Linda, wasn't you? Yes, you were a contestant winner. Yes. I wonder if Dee's going to be on tonight. Well, I've decided to do something, but I'll tell it. Let me wait and see if Dee comes and a couple others. I went to the food bank today. I've never experienced that, but uh, it's through the big church. I think churches in several areas. Uh, Chris, we're doing well. He said he's been thinking about uh, me and Mama. We're doing well. She's. It's hard for me not to get teary eyed a little bit because she just has worried herself sick over all this stuff that went on last weekend. And I told her, I said, Mama, I'm going to be all right. You know, um, there after they told me that, I had tears in my eyes too because I thought, this is what I thought, y'all. I was sitting there and I thought after the doctors had left and the committee had left, and it just popped into my head for 1 second. Of course, I thought, God's going to heal me. But then I had this second thought. Uh, I never thought with my mother being 93, she's going to outlive me. So then who's going to take care of my mama? And, but now that we've got this rectified, now that the stars have come out and prayers from Grandma Lois and Granny Pat and everybody, it all changed within about 45 minutes. They come back and said, well, we just found out that the tumor is only a half an inch and it's going to be zipped out of there. We've got this new process. It's going to be zipped out of there. So, our situations, all of us have been through a lot of hell, and some of us more than most. And you think, why me? Well, I never thought that for many years. I thought nothing, I'm invincible, nothing's going to happen to me. But then you get older and you think, well, there goes my blood pressure up, and there goes my muscle strength, and there goes my stomach issues, and I can't do this or that because I can't go get out because I may have to go to the bathroom. You know, you just learn to deal with it. Y'all know my saying is, I'm doing the best that I can. The other saying is, learn to deal with it. You got to have a positive outlook on everything. If you don't, you might just roll up a ball and die. Because I'm going to tell you, it's hard. Life is hard. Life is hard. But there's people out there. Y'all have only known my name for about a year. And I've only known your names about a year. But there is a uh, bridge that goes from my heart to your heart. And I feel like that if I asked you or you asked me, I would genuinely say, yes, I'll help you. I will help you. I will call out the National Guard. I'll call anybody that if you need help. I'm just that kind of person. So, I think, well, some of my siblings and my family, they don't really see about mother like they should, but that's why God put me as her last child. And she wanted a boy. So, you know, I don't mind being that last child. I don't mind being the last one or the first one. My mom's going to get taken care of, and just like I did my dad. You know, caregiving is not for everybody, y'all. Uh, so you can't say, well, my sister didn't help with my mother. Well, maybe she just didn't have it in her. One of my sisters, I think, is very much that way. I think that the one that lost her only child, I think it just breaks her heart to see that our mother is getting old, you know, or that I'm sick now with cancer. She just got over her husband having half his lung took out. So, cancer is so prevalent right now in this world. So we just have to go on and do the best that we can and love each other, our neighbor, someone we don't know, if they need help, try to do something. My daddy told me, y'all, on that ranch, he was a very stubborn person. He had a genius brain, and one day he told me something about. I'll tell you what it was. I've told this story before. I don't know if I've told it to y'all, but my mother and I, she'd take me to the grocery store on Saturdays. Hi, Deb. It's got to be optimistic. Yes. Yes, we have one another. Mother and I do. Keep that positive attitude. Helps to learn to adapt. You're on the right track. So true. But we go to town and she shopped at these, what? Safeway. I'm going to get these put in. The top one at least. I'm going to save and save till I do because I think I could deal with the top. That's the one that gives me trouble and keeps biting me. Uh, so we would go to Safeway. I was probably only about 7 years old, maybe. So I know that early on, I had the heart to help. Then later on, I had the heart to heal a relationship with my friends because I'm real outspoken and I've made a lot of people mad, but yet they kept coming back because they know that it was just instilled in me to be their friend, I guess, and them in mine. So I've had all these friends. Most of them are moved away or gone now, but I still enjoy. That's why I enjoy YouTube maybe so much. But we would go to Safeway, very young age. So I know I had it back then because I ran and I told mother, I said, Mom, there's a little lady out on the front stoop of the grocery store. And she told me, because back then you kids go out, we'd go outside and chew bubble gum and all that. And I said, she told me she doesn't have anybody that'll help her, and she's gonna have to walk with her groceries, and she's a lovely person. Would you take her home on our way home? Can we drop her off at her house? And my mother said, well, sure. You know, my grandmother and mother had the same demeanor. That's where I got it to start with. And so we got our groceries and everything. And the lady I remember was in a lilac colored pantsuit, one of those butte knit suits, very expensive at the time, I'm quite sure. She probably bought it at the high doll store, and she had real dark hair. So my mother, we went out they had those electric doors. And mother said, well, where's your friend? I said, oh, there she is. She's waiting with she had a little grocery cart. And mother said, are you talking about that lady right there? I said, yes, ma'am, I am. And she took a minute or two and she said, well, uh, go get her and I'll get our groceries in the car and you can help her with her groceries. I was old enough to help. I said, well, I don't want to help you. And she said, no, you go get her and we'll drop her off and then off we go home. Well, many years later, I didn't understand why that grimaced face or that energy that my mother had, I didn't understand. Not understanding. But I finally did when someone told me that lady was, because they had a veterans center there, that lady was the call girl, the whore of the town that you lived in. That's why she wore that black wig, and she's probably maybe in her 80s. I'm not sure. But she had money. I said, well, it doesn't matter to me if she was a whore. I didn't understand it. I just saw the love and the need and the want that little old lady emulated to me as a grandmother, not as a call girl. And that's the way I've always been, y'all, about running into people that's less fortunate than me or somebody that needs help. I cannot look with a clear conscience and say I'm not going to help that person because they're a drug addict or because they're an alcoholic or because they're Pentecostal or because they're not Methodist or they're a Republican or a Democrat. I cannot do that. And if our world had my ideology, I'm going to promise you, we would never go to war. We would never have bad neighborhoods. We wouldn't have all these school shootings because those school shootings, somebody's gotten upset, might have been at home, and they've said something, and then the child, and then so, I just think that we've got to stop this. And that's all I'm going to say about it. That's all I'm going to say about it. So now you know my heart, how it percolates, chugs along, and why I get along so well in life to love so many people. And I don't look for bad in nobody. It's there, but why should I worry myself about something that's bad when I can always find something good? And like Dolly Parton said, you got to toot your own horn so somebody knows you're coming. And that's right. So enough on my soapbox tonight. I hope y'all agree with me or disagree with me. Or okay, so we went to the just like at this place that had that food kitchen, food pantry. I told Mom, I said, well, they've invited me to come up there because they have over a lot of the food. I think they may have so much that they can't even give it out. And uh, anybody can go. It doesn't matter money wise or whatever. So today we went. Mother said, well, let's go. We might get something that we've not ever eaten before. And I said, well, that's true. You know, I agree with her no matter what. I may gripe a little or something, but I love her to death and I agree with her most of the time. So we went and had to take a bill that had her address. And she had to have a bill with her address to show and a driver license. And so we got all that figured out, and we can go once a week now. Now that I've really been sick, uh, they're even going to give some little pre-made meals for mother when I'm in the hospital. So I thought it was just God sent, like the pineapple, like the tumor, like everything this week has been God sent. Every day is God sent in my life, but this week He's been working awful hard because y'all been praying so hard. And I appreciate it. But we got this package of whole dates, 1 pound of whole dates. I had been wanting some dates, but they are so expensive. I wanted to make some of that good date cake. If y'all have never made a date cake with honey, you don't know what you're missing. So today he answered one little prayer. I got a pound of dates. I only use a half a pound per date cake. So that's one of my uh, things that I got. We got several things, y'all. If you need to go to the food bank, don't feel ashamed. It's there for you. If you need it, go get it. Because a lot of that I do believe they throw away. You know, if they don't have enough clientele, then they would throw it away. So uh, Debbie says, see how God works. He made a way for you to date. Yeah, I've been wanting some of that date cake. It's kind of like the hummingbird cake that I make, but this one is, I've only seen one recipe, and that was my grandmother's sister. I've got it though. Yeah, Debbie Tanner, that will help Mama. But you know, y'all know I've got a freezers full of stuff that she could heat up. Or my sister, mother won't. I wouldn't. I would not leave her here without somebody physically being here. And I just knew she wanted me home the other day. When I'm sorry, this hat's kind of my eyes, but I like my hat. I knew she wanted me home the day she kept saying, "Oh, I'll be so glad when you get home." Next day, "Oh, I'll be so glad when you get home." Then about that Thursday, or no, about that Tuesday, when I'll be so glad when you get home. You just don't understand. Oh, Mama, I do understand. There's nothing I can do about it now, though. Somebody's there with you. It's not the way we want the situation to be, but you are being taken care of, and I'm where I need to be because I'm being taken care of. And that always kind of smoothed it over till the next day. And of course, I have the Alexa, you know, not the round, not the ball. I've got a smaller one. We got those as gifts at one of the floor shows or something like that. What, Mom? Okay, I will. Sure will, Mom. Be careful. Mom wanted me to tell you about she's in there directing, so here she comes. Those little scuffs. Tell about the woman that's praying there for us. So there was two ladies, and before you went into the grocery part of the area, they asked you, "Would you like prayer?" I guess some people feel resented about it. I don't know. I grew up with it, so it's just my reaction was, "Of course, everybody needs prayer." You know. Thank you, Debbie Tanner. She said, "Go hit the thumbs up wherever you do that. I'm happy that you do it, whatever you do." We've got 24 people. I want to get this up one day to a couple hundred people before I check out. But the ladies, she said the most beautiful prayer I have ever heard about my illness. I mean, she was a prayer warrior because every uh, indication of the disease, every heartfelt was in that prayer, and it just made you kind of feel like a cold glass of lemonade on a hot summer day. You just kind of, oh, that's what I needed, you know. And we were very blessed with that. Hi, David. How are you? I'm looking to see. So yeah, we had our prayers, and the director said I had to mention that, so I did. Okay, something else, y'all. Do y'all like the way when I tell you, when I explain why I think it's a godly thing or a miraculous little. Been a lot of miracles floating around this week. Uh, Remember the pineapple? Well, it's getting bigger. It's about like that now. When I showed it to y'all, it was about like that. But so it's grown in 2 days. Okay, I had just thought about this because I have this sitting right here, and when we got when you go through this food bank, uh, once a month or once a visit, I think it's once a month, you can pick out toilet paper, light bulb, and if they're out of that, then they have a small shelf of knickknacks. Like my house is full of this stuff. If I don't sell it at the garage sale, I may give it to them so they can hand it out. Because, a lot of people don't have pretty things in their house. So she said, "Go over there and get you something." I said, "Ma'am, I've got too much stuff." She said, "Well, you don't have none of our stuff." I said, "Okay, I'll go look." Mom said, "We don't need any of that. You got too much of that." I said, "I know, Mom, but I'm just being nice. Let's go look." So Mother got talking to a lady about something. I went and looked, and if it didn't just sit there with a spotlight right on it, I do believe this is a miracle, y'all. A sign. It's a sign, not just a miracle. That spotlight was on this object, kind of like. Because I picked it up and I thought, what in the world is this doing here? This is at least 80 years old, and it's not a cheap piece of crystal. And it's the same kind of crystal that I buy with the Star of David on it and the pinwheel that I've showed y'all many times of the big vases and everything. You're not going to believe it. A butter dish, I think it's probably I haven't looked it up. I don't know if it's a round butter dish or a cream. Now you see that, you can see that well. The star hand cut, you can tell they're hand cut. Star of David. Now I've never seen a prettier piece of crystal in my life. And this is all cut, and this then the stars. But that matches every piece of crystal that I have. Not a chip, not a break, not nothing on this whatsoever. I'll keep this the day I die. And I may be buried with it because it's just absolutely a sign. If y'all get signs like that, tell me about them because I don't get very many. Yeah, David, it was just and David, you've been on my channel for a long, long time, and you see that everything about that that emulates I have in my most favorite, not Waterford, not none of that. This is my most favorite crystal if I could keep, or that I'm going to keep. So that was another one of our little signs today. I'm reading y'all's. Yes, Debbie, it was waiting there just for me, and y'all, it had so much dust on it. You couldn't really. It looked kind of plastic, but I had the trained eye. I thought that's a piece of 1930 crystal. So that kind of made my heart go flutter today. I think I've had more tears in my eyes this week than I've had in a long time, but it's all good. Good tears. I don't guess Dee's going to be on. She had a business trip, I think. I think she had a business trip. She said she was going on last night. Y'all, that some of my gals was on and a couple guys was on my food video this morning chatting, and it was an hour and a half, but the food was good. It was, but I had to get some of that cooked up, and the only thing I thought was, I'm going to get this cooked up live so they can just visit. So I enjoyed that, and I hope you did too. Let me see if there's anything really. Well, D, what I was going to tell D is I got into my closet, gift closet or whatever, and I have 3 of these lava stone pans, and D, the day that I decide to give this away, then I'll come back. Well, I'll say a little, however I did it before. These lava stone pans, they are absolutely great. I got them as promotional, and that's at least you can do your fish and things in these pans, and then it comes with your uh, so you can stack them and it doesn't burn. We'll do this as our gift. Don't have to buy nothing. Don't have to do nothing. We'll just uh, we just drew numbers, I think, last time, but I have to set up that show. Deb me a moyo. I made and canned my own apple cinnamon syrup. Ooh, I bet that was good. I like anything fattening, but I've got to be careful on my salt now. So I have not shaken but one time the salt, and that was on that squash today that I ate. I haven't used the salt shaker at all. Y'all must be proud of me. And I'm still checking y'all into the Titanic exhibit before it closes. Excuse me, before it closes, because I'd like to do a show with Mother and let y'all see the exhibit. But I'm still trying to find maybe someone that could go and help me. Because last time we went to Edith Head, I couldn't film well, and I was trying to push and explain, and it just, I mean, and I want her there for every experience. She doesn't care for the Titanic at all because as a young girl, they heard about it and it scared her. And then later on, that Poseidon adventure with friend Shelley Winters was in, and Mother just thinks it's all like that. And I said, well, I think it'll be a very educational. So, yeah, Debbie, that's a good sized pan. I had one for a long time and used it, but this one, like I said, I've still got 3 of these, I think. And then I've got electric crock pots and all that stuff that I'm going to get rid of. Plus, whatever's in this house, I told Dee, I said, she wants some of these stamps, some of these Elvis stamps, and I hadn't had a chance. And another one wanted some other. Y'all have to email it, just me, Billy Jean, at yahoo.com, and then I'll tell you if you're interested in some of these stamps. They're not going to be outrageous. Heck, I just don't do something like that. But I've got to look and see if they're Elvis and what doesn't say. Oh, Marilyn Monroe, maybe? I think there is some. I used to use those Marilyn Monroe stamps on a lot of my, well, I did Elvis too, on my correspondence. But one of my most favorite stamps is, uh, well, it was the country and western singers. I enjoyed using those stamps. They were a plate block of 6 stamps, I think, and had Patsy Cline and this one and that one, and they always look good. Or I've got a lot of holiday stamps that are good for Christmas time. I always bought certain stamps for certain stationery. Not anymore. I don't even write a letter, barely an email. Now I had to learn to text message. Excuse me if I knock that down there. So we will do that drawing pretty soon. Don't know exactly when. I'm still checking on the going into Dallas for the Titanic exhibit. If some of y'all are close, y'all can come join us at the Titanic exhibit, and we can meet down there and get our pictures taken with each other, and we know who we're talking about. But I don't know how many of you are close to Dallas. But by the time we get ready to go, we'll let people know and try to do an adventure. I like Billie Jean's Big Adventure instead of Pee Wee's. It'll be Billie Jean's Big Adventure. So I'm not sure if we're going to have that roast. All that roast was good. We're going to have that roast for a couple of days, and I've still got asparagus that I didn't cook. I've still got. I'm going to make the sausage. I'm going to do that maybe in the morning. So if you see my light come on like Motel 6, and you tune in, and if I've got my hair still in curlers, you know I hadn't had my first cup of coffee, and I'm going to make some sausage. But I just wanted to come on this evening because a lot of you didn't see this morning's show because I know you work. A couple of you said, "I'm on my way to work. I'm listening to you," or "I'm getting ready for work. I'm listening to you," or I'm going to work, so I can't stick around." Gary Brunette, I don't. You're in Canada. I guess you could take a red light, or what do they call that? Red eye. I guess you could take a red eye and get there. Sheila Chester, hello, 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 Sheila Chester. Hope you're doing okay in Arkansas. Yeah, Sheila wants to come visit me, her and her husband. They went and saw Granny Pat, and I said, that might be a good thing too, Sheila Chester, when we go to the Titanic exhibit. I don't know how much time you have off or anything, but I think that's going to be a great exhibit, and Dallas is the only place that I'll be able to get to see it because I can't travel with Mom. So I have to kind of I miss the Dallas Symphony and the Fort Worth Opera, but I just can't do it. I can't leave her uh, to go to those things because with my eyes the way they are, I would have to spend the night uh, instead of driving after dark. I mean, there's Uber, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm neglecting somebody. So I'll just wait, or she can go with me. And then that COVID is coming out. I know a lot of you on the fence about that, but I have to be so careful with, especially now, my immune system was already down, and then I got it. But Mother has not had it. She's had her vaccine, but I have to be just so careful. Even with my sisters, I said, "No, you're not coming." During COVID, and now I tell them, if it gets pretty bad, which I'm hearing from people that it's might migrate into something that's a flu, COVID flu, respiratory, all in one. Well, it's going to be a damn mess. It's going to make you sick. And all these people my friends, they'll say, "Oh, I had it, but I didn't even. I coughed one time, and I didn't even know I had it." And I thought, I don't know about all this. That just sounds like a crock of poop. Because when I got it, I knew I had something that I hadn't had before, and I'd had my shots and my boosters and everything. It felt like that I took that glass butter dish and was swallowing big hunks of it. That's how bad that works on your nerves. This new COVID. I don't want it again. I don't want no. I don't want to be around it. Granny Pat, she's never had a vaccine. She said she didn't take a COVID vaccine. I said, well, that's on you. But I took them all, and Mama took them all, and that's just the way it's gonna be. Because we grew up uh, in Sam Rayburn country, and we took our vaccines. We ate our corn and cornbread, and I'm still kind of drawn that way, even though I'm not as old as my grandmother. She instilled a lot of good. So let me see if there's anything I'm leaving out with y'all. Debbie, yeah, she said it's a great size. That pan, that cinnamon syrup. Now, Deb, that does sound. If you don't mind, well, I can get that recipe. I've never made it, so I have no earthly idea how to make that. But if anytime y'all have a recipe, I've told this quite a many shows ago. Just Me Billie Jean at yahoo.com, or go to Facebook and look up Just Me Billie Jean and subscribe then. But the email is the best way to get a hold of me with a recipe or an idea or a hello or goodbye, or because I do read the emails. I don't write a lot. I do write back to you. But I'm going to get off here because I've got to get Mom. This morning I got her bath and got her all that, Then we went downtown and we got a lot of papers notarized that I changed a lot of things. If y'all understand on legal, I just felt like I need to be prepared no matter what. So thanks, Deb. I'll check the email just as soon as I get off here, and I may mention you, and we might cook it on the show, you know. But I had to get my paperwork in order because y'all, I procrastinate, and you know, you got to finally eventually say, okay, well, I need to do something with my will, or I need to do something with my power of attorney, or I need to do something about whatever. So today was the day we went. I drew it all up. I studied law for a while, and so I drew all up my own things and took them and we got them notarized. And so now that's behind me. That worry is behind me. Because, with the power of attorney, I didn't have one. And I thought, if I get over there and they kind of render me mentally ill or something with some of that surgery medicine, I thought, well, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna have certain ones making my decisions because they would probably make the wrong decision. So I left it up to my mother. She's still fit enough to do what I need her to do. And then if she doesn't, then of course another couple family members. But I'm fixing to go. God bless you. God bless us. God bless the United States. And I hope to come on tomorrow or this week, at least pretty soon,